Back talking about Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Um, I wanted to mention, okay, I should have put spoilers. Okay, it's going to be spoilers. Spoiler alert. Spoilers beware, okay? I'm about to spoil stuff. um, because I had a question when it came, when it arrived, when it arisen, when it had arrived, when it presented itself. Okay. And then it kind of clarified itself a little bit, kind of, sort of. I was like, like that the other character kind of was honing in on it, kind of, sort of, like he brought it back up, and then I was like, well, okay, was that um was that her switching? Okay, so what I'm talking about is Raphael. When Raphael comes to the spot, I think the like the first first time we noticed her, the first time. Let me think. Okay, anyways, okay, the main specific part that I'm talking about is when Matthew, well, actually Piranesi, kind of, sort of, but yeah, Matthew and Raphael meet up and they're talking. Uh Raphael asks a question, and I'm like, huh? What? Huh? Why are you asking that? Don't you remember? Don't you know? So that's why I'm like, huh? And then, okay. So yeah, so I'm like, yo, don't you know what you don't you know? And then when she told the story, no. She I don't think she told, no. The other policeman told the story. And then Matthew was like, "Oh, that's what's up because she afraid of heights." Because he had noticed that she was afraid of heights. So, uh that's what I was like, maybe she switched to do what she had to do. Okay, so more clarification of what I'm talking about, because I kind of did a non-spoiler a little bit. Um, Raphael, when she was talking to Matthew, Matthew had told her, no. Okay. Right, what happened? They were talking. Matthew told her. Matthew told her what he had read that she wrote down, and she asked, "What did she write?" And I'm like, "Huh? Why would she ask that? Like, doesn't she know what she wrote? Doesn't she remember what she wrote?" So Matthew told her what he had read that she wrote, and she just was like, huh, or like she just kind of went on from there. And I just that kind of just kind of perked my ears up a little bit, like what she she ain't remember what she wrote. I mean, why would she ask that? But I think she switches too. That I think that's a hint to her switching. Okay, so that was the first. That was the first. Huh? Like that. Like I was like, huh? Like why would she ask? What did she wrote? What did she write? Um. Okay, and then the second thing that kind of clarified it a little bit. Um. With hinting, I think is a hint to Raphael switching. Uh, is when the police officer was describing to Matthew how heroic she is when she climbed up the tower and saved somebody and had came down, and then she didn't even notice that her hair was on fire. Like I think she switched to go up there to save that person, and then perhaps switch back when she came down. Like her switch is quick like that. That's what it seemed like. Uh, and a hint to that is Matthew had noticed she was afraid of heights. She was afraid of heights. When they had to climb up to get away from the waves, he said he saw something, like he saw her hesitate a little bit uh, before she had climbed up, and that could have been her switching. But that's just me thinking that she's switching. But these are like the areas and the way that it's written that hints to maybe she's switching, perhaps. Um, so Matthew says, yeah, she's that's she's something. And he was like, yeah, she's afraid of heights. Um, yeah. So when they were getting up there away from the ocean. He said he looked at her and he kind of saw her kind of hesitate. He saw something like in her face a little bit, like a little hesitation, and then she climbed up and did what she had to do. And it was either the climb up or the jump down, because she did have to jump down and he caught her. So either one of them actions or both, he saw something and he mentioned it. That's why I'm like, why is it being mentioned? And then, uh, and then not really. Why is that being mentioned? But why did she ask what she wrote? So that got me perturbed. I'm like, what? You don't remember, girl? Like this ain't big enough for you not to remember? Like what is going on? Like, and then I thought it was the building because everybody talking about like the building make you forget and stuff like that. But I don't know, like, because that's what I kind of first thought. I was like, oh Lord, it's the building. But if she was switching before she even came to the building, then it's not the building. Depending on when she had saved that person. But yes, it's like she switched pretty fast. And if she's switching, um, to do what she has to do, like something greater, perhaps. That's what kind of what I was thinking of when the other officer was describing how her heroic her heroic she is. Um, I was like, oh wow, like something greater possibly like took over her and she was able to trudge through that and save that person. Um, yeah, that's one thing I had noticed though, because I'm like, why did she ask what she wrote? Like, and you don't know, like, and you don't know, uh, like as though to say he's not who he is, kind of, sort of like, oh my goodness, but yeah, that what a peculiar question. Like to ask, what did I write? Like you that busy girl that you don't remember what you wrote in chalk in another dimension? Oh my goodness, that's where I went with it. I was like, you that busy? You that busy? You know, like you that you don't recall what you wrote. And so I mean, she did kind of write a lengthy note. And uh yeah. But yeah, I don't know if that was a hint to her switching. Possibly that I guess would that would be a question for for the the author to clarify, I guess, because only the author knows, like what did you mean there when you wrote that? Did uh but yeah, I'm going along reading the book and then Raphael asks, "What did I write?" And then I'm like, "Huh? Why would you ask that? You that busy, girl? Like you that busy? You got a lot on your hand. You got a lot on plate. You don't know what you wrote." So that's just like, And then all of the ways that Matthew pointed out could be overlooked. Could be overlooked. All of the things that Matthew had noticed about how she hesitated a little bit with climbing up and jumping down. All of that could seem normal, quote unquote, whatever that is. You could surpass it. You could look past it, keep reading. There's nothing to it. But then when The policeman talking about how she climbed up there and saved somebody, and then he like, yeah, she didn't even notice her hair was on fire. And then Matthew bring it back around town. Oh wow, that's what's up. Like, cause she don't even like heights. Like to let the officer know, and then the officer didn't even know she ain't like heights. And now Matthew spent that little bit of time that they was together, he saw that she didn't like heights, and to bring it up, to bring it forth to the police officer, and he like, oh wow, I didn't even know she didn't like heights. Oh wow, or like, I didn't even, and then that's what got me like, huh? Perhaps she turns or switches when she has to do certain things in order to propel her forward in what she's doing. Perhaps. Because maybe she was didn't like the fact that she had to go through the the portals and stuff like that. So maybe she switched to go through there, and because they did kind of mention that, because she was saying that how she was marking the doors so as not to get lost. So perhaps when she felt like she wouldn't uh find her way is maybe when she switched. I don't know. I'm just noticing what I read. That was quite peculiar. And I thought all the little things that Matthew was pointing out to her was like a hint to maybe her switching, especially when he brought it up to the police officer. I was like, oh, okay. That would explain why she asked what she wrote, because she wasn't she wasn't that person at the time. That's what it seemed like. It could be. It could not be, but it could be. Hold on. Where? Let me see. Uh, is it right here? Okay, there we go. Thumbs up. Subscribe if you hadn't already. Let me know if you've read this book or if you plan to read the book. Um, I was recommended. I saw a recommendation for this book like at least twice, and I was like, it sounds like a movie coming out. So I didn't know if I was gonna watch the movie because it's considered a horror movie. So I figured I'd watch the. I mean, I'm about to say I figured I'd watch the book. I figured I'd read the book because the book seemed like it was gonna be like that movie, Backrooms. That's what it sounds like to me a little bit. Um, so I read it because I thought it was gonna be out because I didn't know. I was like, is Backrooms a book? So, or the movie The Backrooms that just came out. This book sounds similar. So I was like, is that movie from a book? or from this book. So this is the book I thought it was from. So I read this book thinking that it was, yeah, yeah, a movie, whatever. But it's probably nothing like the movie. I don't think it is. I did watch like some movie reviews of the back rooms, and no, nah, I don't know. I don't think so. Um, Now that I've read it, it doesn't seem like they have anything to do with each other. Like what Uncle Rick could say, no relations. No relations. Uh, it seemed like it though. It kind of seemed like it, but now that I don't read it, it doesn't seem. It doesn't seem like it. It just they got some similarities, but perhaps not. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to figure it out. That's why I read the book to see if there were any relations to that movie in the book. And now that I done read the book, I've been thinking about it because I didn't really do a book review on it all the way. I just kind of been mentioning it here and there, and it is some points that some points I wanted to talk about. This one being one of them. Now, the previous live stream that I just did, I did mention another point that I had, and I talk about it in that live stream. Um, yeah, so these are all the points. This is the last point. I think this is all I got to say about the book now. um, which I've talked about the book for like 3 live streams now. Just because I'm pointing out a little bit here and there. And not all at once. So yeah, this is the last point I wanted to talk about was Raphael asking what she wrote. I'm like, what you that busy? Like, you don't remember? Like, this ain't a big deal. Like, this ain't a big deal, girl, that you don't remember what you wrote. Like, she's so busy. She wrote that and then left and then had such a big life going on with her job and her life that she don't remember what she wrote. Like, that didn't make sense to me. Like, unless she's just that busy, I would think you might remember something like that. I don't know though, girl. I'm glad I ain't gotta know, huh? Cause I didn't know what was about to happen. I kind of was I felt a little suspenseful, a little bit, a little. Yeah, it kind of felt, but that was just. I think that's just me trying to link it to the movie Backrooms. That's kind of maybe why I kind of felt a little suspense for a little bit. I just didn't know how these characters were going to act out or what their response was going to be. especially Matthew, or as we get introduced to him as Piranesi. I didn't know what oh my goodness. And then as the story goes on, and then what we learn about some of the other characters in there, I was like, yowza. Oh, and what happens to some of the characters in there, I was like, yeesh. So I ain't know exactly what was about to transpire. I did like how the book uh concluded though, because it could have went all kinds of ways. Like I was scared a little bit. I was a little I was a little perplexed. I was just like, what is gonna happen? I kept reading it. It was definitely a page turner for me for sure. Because I I didn't know how he was going to respond to Raphael. Um in any situation. Like when she brought up, if you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't know how he was gonna respond. I didn't know, but the way he did respond, I was like, oh, like, I was sitting on the pins and needles, like how group say. I'm trying to say how group say. I was sitting on the pins and needles. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was holding my breath. I was reminding myself to breathe. That part was so anxious. I just was like, what is he gonna do? Whew. But uh I like how everything concluded. Um I just didn't know how I was gonna get there. So I was turning them pages. I was reading. I was reading, boy. I was like, what is gonna happen? I need to know. So I kept reading. Uh, and he did what he did. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Whew. But yeah, like mentioned last night, he wasn't anxious about getting up out of there like I was. I was more anxious for him to get up out of there. Him and Raphael, I was more anxious than he was. So and then that's why I mentioned last night that after I thought about it and thought about the book and what we read about what he's reading, he's never mentioned uh, leaving. So that kind of got me a little calmer. That calmed my nerves. That calmed my nerves. I was like, you know what? He was all right where he was. I mean, he wasn't all right. He needed to get up out of there. And I'm glad he's learned how to go and come as he pleases. That makes me feel better. He didn't care which either way, but before I learned that he didn't um want to leave, which I concluded myself while I was reading the book. I was thinking after we learned a bit about him, I was thinking maybe he got there and forgot how to leave. So I was like, oh my goodness, what I was anxious. I was like, he done forgot how to leave. But nothing in his notes said that he wanted to leave. So when as I finished the book and I thought about it, I was like, you know what? He didn't even want to leave when he was Matthew. Don't seem like he never sounded like he was stuck in any of his notes that we was able to read. So I calmed down after because I was anxious for him to get up out of there, but he wasn't. And so I was like, he really is the master of his universe. He done mastered that, and now that he can go and come as he pleases, he can bring supplies and move in. That's what I'm thinking. He can move in, bring supplies, and yeah, because I mean, he already had mentioned to that elderly man that he was, if he go back, that he would take him with him. And I'm like, yeah, just take some stuff with you and move in. Get you some supplies, some groceries, or whatever, and move in there. Fix it up, take some boards and stuff. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking fix it up where it need fixing it. Whew. I'm so glad it concluded how it did, because I didn't know which way this book was gonna go. I'm glad it went the way it did. For my sake. Cause I was like, what? I didn't know how he was gonna. I didn't know, when you read the book and you see, I don't know, you don't know how he gonna pop out, if he gonna pop out. And I was like, whoa, how he gonna respond with Raphael? See what she see when he showed her what he was talking about, and then finally he said something, because it kind of seemed like he was talking in a riddle a little bit about the people that was there, and then when he finally said it clearly, I was like, hallelujah. Whew, he finally said it. Oh my goodness. I was like, Lord. Because Raphael, she was like, other people are here? And he was like, yeah, other people are here, like about 13 of them or whatever, whatever. So she's like, they say, so they were going back and forth, and she trying to figure out if it's other people they got to get up out of there. They need to help. And then he was like, well, and then so he revealed that, and I was so relieved, because I'm like, if you don't tell her that these people is the state of these people, because the way he was talking to, the way he was describing it, it was it could be misconstrued. And see, that's a nod to the end of the book when he's describing um where he had been all this time, and then the police officer is like, Oh, you mean by the seashore? And so the police officer misconstrues what Matthew was saying. And then Matthew was like, well, I guess you could say that. I was on the side by the sea or what. I was like, oh my goodness. And then they was trying to pin it on the other, trying to conclude that the other had did some foul play, so they was trying to charge him. But the way Matthew was describing it, the police officer, he was like, we can't charge him with nothing because I think it was the way Matthew was describing it is why they couldn't do that. Oh, now I could start questioning that. I kind of was like, that was a lot because I kind of sobbed in this book a little bit. I kind of heaved when when he met uh when he had got up out of there. But yeah, uh, it's a good book. It's I was thinking I might read it again just because I'm um and so that I can read it without being anxious. And now that I know uh that it doesn't seem like the horror movie, which the horror movie could have been inspired by this, possibly. But this is not that particularly. I think I might would read it again, maybe. Without having that scary element added to it, like I did the first time I read it. I think I would read it again. Um, I don't think I missed anything, honestly. There was a creepy part in there, which I was like, yikes! I wouldn't read it, because of the creepy part. But everything that was pointed out, for the most part, I think I got. I think for the most part. There were some characters introduced that we didn't see, but we did hear. That was seen. No, yeah, he didn't see them, but he heard them. And I'm guessing that those people might have just been. I don't know if they was looking for him. I don't know, or if they were just passing through. But maybe they were looking for him. I don't know exactly. Um, I kind of want to say I got everything, but um, I don't know exactly. I'm kind of questioning myself a little bit because there was a sleeping bag, and when he saw the sleeping bag, I was like, oh, that's his. Um, but I don't know. But I think it was his because Piranesi was listing off everything that he had got from the other. And I kind of questioned it when I was reading the book. I was like, at first, I was like, oh, that's his. But actually, at first, I was like, what? I was like, somebody else did that? And then I was like, okay, so I was like, is somebody else in there? But then I was like, that's his. But I don't think it was listed that he had two sleeping bags, or was it? Did he say now he has two sleeping bags? Anyways, it's a good book. Boy, oi, uh, it was suspenseful for me. I was reading it. Like, what comes next? Oh my goodness. And then why that only happened to the woman? But yeah, it was some stuff that had went down. I was like, oh my goodness. Yowza. Lord. Uh, I haven't seen the movie The Back Rooms. Um, but I did think this book could have inspired it. I don't know. Perhaps. Um, I don't think this is the same character though. No, no, no. This isn't this. No, 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 no. No. Because that's what I was thinking when I heard the book being recommended to me. But no, these aren't the same characters at all. These aren't the same characters. If the movie was inspired by the book, just from my perspective, just and I hadn't even watched the movie. I love talking about a movie I hadn't even seen before. um, I would say that it could be possibly inspired. It could possibly be another worldly something another. Another dimension. Like it could have nothing to do with the book. I'm trying to link it somehow. But what I'm trying to say is like these could be different characters from the movie. The movie with those characters could be different characters having their own experience, of course. But I don't think it's the same place. But it could be kind of sort of because with how the book goes, Matthew in the book, how he said, well, Piranesi, um, he thought that the other was in another part of the house. So, or the building, he thought that he went to his part of the building. So in a sense, kind of, sort of, the back rooms. Why am I trying to connect these? I'm trying to connect it because that's what I thought the book was, but it ain't, and I'm steady trying to connect it. Um, but yeah, these people could be in a whole nother part of the building. But they could have nothing to do with each other and be no relation at all, and just only similar. Uh, yeah, that's my experience with it. I read it because I thought it was the movie, but now that I've read it, it's not the movie. It could possibly be inspired by the book, though. The movie could be. Uh, and I kind of wanted to talk about the movie, even though I hadn't seen it yet. Um, but from what I've seen with the trailer, what I've seen with the trailer, and a little bit of the um clips and videos I've seen, I thought it was a game. I've seen it. I've seen a couple of videos. I thought people were doing gameplays, game gaming, and I had seen it like that. I thought somebody was playing a game. Um, I think I've seen a couple of these backroom videos, and then when the trailer came out, I've heard people say that it came from like a series, a YouTube series or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was a game. I thought somebody was playing a game, like a video game. Um, I thought it was from a video game. Um, and so I would only be maybe talking from maybe the video games that I've seen. I guess I thought it was a video game when I was watching it. I didn't know. I don't know, but from the, I guess it was a video game. They be walking around, and then they try and hide from this thing that come out, and then they be in the dark, and the thing can't see them in the dark, but if they be out in the open, I guess the thing can see them, and so they'll dip in somewhere where it's dark at. And I'm like, I don't guess they could go up to the thing and say something. I guess it would be game over if they go up to the thing, um or let the thing see them. So it's like they be in the light and they be walking around, and then they be like exploring around and like be wanting to know like what's in the dark. And then when that thing come about, they run and dip into the dark. And then now they are the thing in the dark. If that was the thing in the dark, now they become the thing in the dark, and the thing is out in the light. I, they be switching places back and forth, being out in the open and in the light. And now from their perspective, they're the thing in the dark looking out. That's what it seemed like to me. Like both things are like switching places with and so yeah. That's all I really got to say about that. Yeah. Cause that's all I know. That's all I saw. That's, I, ain't- I ain't see nothing. I ain't see nothing. Oh, oh! I saw this one character. They was trying to get out, but like every room they went in was like another room, and then like they went outside, but then it was like a bunch of air. It was a bunch of buildings. Like they was like in a courtyard, and then it was just like full of buildings, so they didn't know which way to go. And I guess that's like the same thing. I guess all of that is connected with the back rooms. Nothing to do with the book that I'm talking about that I thought was connected, but when I read the book, it didn't seem like it had anything to do with the movie that came out. The only similarity was that um, each one of them had several rooms. That was the only similarity. Well, no, they had a little more similarity. They had the rooms. That okay, so that was similar. Um, There was a few other things that were similar. That's why I thought it was the movie in book form. So I said, well, let me read the book. But yeah, after reading the book, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know it's not the movie, but it the movie could be inspired by the book, perhaps. Even the game, perhaps. I don't know. And the YouTube series, maybe that's inspired by the book. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the inspiration was. There are a couple of similarities. That's why I thought it was the book. The movie was the book, so I went ahead and read the book. But and there's even a another book that's similar to this book, and it came out before this book, and I'm thinking that book might have inspired this book. I don't know what that book name is at the moment, but it was about a boy that was gifted a magic paintbrush, and he drew uh he drew an ocean in the castle. And I'm thinking that book birthed this book, perhaps. It was the seed for this book. And then somebody comes along and discovers the castle with the ocean in it. And that's this book. Uh, that's what I think. And that was one of the books, The Boy with the Paintbrush. Is that the title of the book? That could be the title of the book. I saw it presented on Reading Rainbow, a Reading Rainbow, during the marathon that happened not too long ago. It was a Reading Rainbow marathon, and one of the episodes had a book in there about a boy that was gifted a magic paintbrush. And I was like, huh. Coincidence? I think not. I think these books are connected somehow, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Like, comment, subscribe if you hadn't already. Share with the craft lover and book reader. I do have a bookstore that you can purchase these titles from that I mentioned during the live stream.